Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, the first deep sales platform. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That is linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything. Noah is out of town.
I know.
And so it's just me and the little babies. And our nanny went out of town for the weekend. So she was getting home sometime late last night. So I was already like, well, I can't fall asleep because when she comes in, Tianfu's going to get upset. So I waited for her to get home. I finally fall asleep. I tend to have like a lot of electricity running through my body. Like I tend to have a lot of energy in general. So sometimes, every once in a while, it's like hard to fall asleep. Anyways, that's not important. What's important is that at 4 a.m., my alarm went off. This company, I'm not going to put them on blast yet, but it is like either you do ADT and they send like a 300-pound stone guard to like check on your house if your alarm goes off, but like there's not much we can do. Also, you could have almost died because your stalker came twice and it took us an hour to find your house. Just basing that on nothing specific.
The stalker could find the house, but the
ADT
security guards cannot find the house.
It took them over an hour after we called them.
Truly shocking.
Their service was so bad that we called our like account rep, and when we told him, he goes, "Yep, I will. I understand. I will remove all the charges, and we will come get our shit."
Yeah.
So, or you go with like an independent company that's just like your dad coming over to like rig up your alarm. Like it's all a joke. At 4 a.m., my alarm went off for no reason.
No.
Like, no. This company is so faulty that in my heart, even with 2 babies sleeping, I was like, nobody broke in. It's just my alarm. And I knew it. And it was just like office glass break. There's no glass break. And to make it worse, at 4 a.m., it would not accept my code. And I'm punching it in over and over and over. And I am, first of all, I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, there goes me sleeping. There goes my whole fucking Monday.
Right.
They call and I'm yelling. And I'm like, why can't I turn this fucking alarm off? And the woman's like, okay, let me see what I can do. But you're okay. I go, yeah, I'm okay. She goes, okay. And I go, you're not going to ask me for a password? Someone could have a fucking gun to my head. And she was like, I was gonna. And I'm like, that literally should always be the first thing. Not, are you okay? Because by the way, if I wanted to make it look like I just needed help and I was robbing someone's house, I would answer the phone and be like, I can't get my password to work. I'm an upset lady. After maybe like 5 full minutes of an alarm going off at 4 a.m., it randomly turned off. I was so mad. And then, of course, you have to be like, I know it's not your fault. She's like, no, I get that it's frustrating. She's like, whatever. So I'm just a little fried today. It's just another example of how like nothing really works and you are just a sitting duck. And I could understand owning a gun. I can't understand owning like an automatic weapon or like an AR-15 with a bump stock. But like, I understand people owning like a rifle, a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire gun rack.
I have ADT and I just haven't set it in like a year because I don't remember what my password is and I don't want to figure it out.
Oh, you are missing out on a slovenly worker. Maybe getting to your house after you've been chopped into pieces.
I remember one time at one of your homes, not like you have a billion homes, but somewhere you used to live, there was like
I have homes.
Yeah, but not like,
No, I don't have homes like that.
Yeah. I don't want you to sound elitist. That like it alerted that a door was open. And I went over, like, you were out of town. I went over to inspect. I think the wind had just done something, but I was like, I guess I should be ready to fight someone. Cause it's like, when you get that alert, like, what, 90% of the time there's nothing, but I guess you have to be ready in case it's something. But I knew it wasn't going to be anything. So I just wandered into the house like, hey, is there a murderer? No, cool. Okay. Oh, it's this door. I can tell.
Yeah. That's why I always tell my 2-year-old daughter, stay ready, ain't got to get ready. That's what we preach in our house. That's why she knows Krav Maga, stay ready, ain't got to, and gymnastics.
Krav Maga.
She doesn't know either. Let's do it. I made a fun coffee drink in a sad millennial attempt to perk myself up. Can I show it to you?
Yeah, I saw you had a fun straw. Oh, there's a froth on it. What's happening in there? What is that?
It's a little whisker I bought off Amazon. Just so sad that I'm tired today. Such a fucking bummer.
Oh.
But I'm ready. I'm ready for love.
Are you ready to fight?
Always.
Hi, Iliza and Emily. Let me tell you one of the biggest things I absolutely hate. When you order something online and it comes with stuff completely unrelated to the brand or the purchase. Like, I bought a Venetian hand-painted mask for Mardi Gras. I don't need Hello Kitty stickers to come with it. Like, I buy a book off eBay. I don't need a CD from your junk drawer. I'm just sick of all these extra little crappy things that come with orders that's completely unrelated to the item or the brand that's just going to get thrown away anyways. Fight me.
Not only will I not fight you, I will make sweet love to you. That is such a scathing, hot take, good call.
Yeah.
Because you are calling out something that is so problematic. First of all, I do believe people are just putting their garbage in there and they're like, maybe this person will get rid of it in their state. Hopefully they have recycling. Mm-hmm. But I've thought about this before. The amount of stuff, because basically what we're ordering in mass is cheap plastic. Everything is coming from China. Everything is garbage. And so they're like, we want to make it look like there's a value added. So we'll send along these like wired headphones and a free sponge, like, because Americans love value. I could not agree more. The amount of shit that you buy or you have to buy, and it always, can we just agree that we all have USB cables at this point? Like, we all have the cables.
USB cable. I'm gonna
oh
be
my
honest.
God. No, because it's never like a high-end one, like for an Apple product. And it's just, what's the one that everything is that's like
USB-C?
Yep, I guess so. Everything comes with a cheap one wrapped with like a little twist tie. We have them. We have Allen wrenches. We have screws. We have little plastic. Like, we have all these things and you keep it because you're like, I don't know. We have it. Little plastic pouches that they do to emulate Apple products. It's like, oh, it came in thick plastic that'll never break down. I completely agree. The stickers, I also agree. If you are a small business owner, let's say you have an Etsy shop, I don't need a handwritten note. I don't need stickers. I sure as shit don't need glitter. Like, people just throw this stuff in. First of all, it's extra plastic and those things cost you money. People, like, if girls have this like idea, like, I'm going to have my own cute Etsy shop and each thing will have a little ribbon. That is just money down the drain. No one has anywhere to put stickers. Like, we only have so many water bottles. The cables, I ordered this mushroom coffee that was like one of my top of the cobs, but it came with, Myrna ordered it, a wooden spoon. Did I talk about this already?
Yeah, because you said that they really just want to be a spoon company, and that made me laugh.
But the spoon, you don't even know. I don't even know if it's a tablespoon. So I'm like, what is with you guys and these spoon? Like, I don't need
just
it.
For mixing,
I just want what I want. Yeah. Or like when a clothing company's like, and we're sending you our best-selling top. I'm like, no, you're not. You're sending me garbage that you could not offload.
Yeah.
You would 100%. Never, nobody gives away anything of quality. You want to send it back, but it'll cost you too much.
Right. There
Oh,
are
that's such
things
a good
that are
one.
loss leaders where they'll sell something of really good quality for a very, like the rotisserie chicken at a Costco, loss leader. It gets you in and then you buy other things. But yeah, they're not just adding it on. What's an interesting industry for this is in entertainment. Like nobody gets more free stuff than rich people. Like they just get given
Yeah.
stuff at all these gifting suites and premieres. So we've been trying to do premieres at home for like my work. So I'm trying to make the things that we do. I'm like, okay, here is a flashlight that's also a magnet for this survival kit for this post-apocalyptic thing, and a charger and a multi-tool. I'm like, instead of just giving plastic crap, at least it's something. The flashlight, like it goes on your fridge. Like I would use that. I'm like, would someone have this in their house 6 months from now? If not, I'm not going to have it created by a company that makes it for $307 or whatever, you know?
Like a trucker hat, a cheap foam trucker hat that's like a Hallmark movie, like Coming Home for Christmas Part 5. And you're like, okay. I had a virtual premiere box sent to me once. The box was a fake car. Like it had headlights and a license plate. It was like a really nice box, but you're like, what do I do with this? Somebody sent me their, I'm not going to go too into it, alcohol brand.
Yeah.
And I don't ask for these things. It is weird. Like some like headphones sometimes just show up to your house. Like gifts just show up to your house.
Yeah.
An offering from the gods. And in this liquor, alcohol, whatever gift promotional box was, of course, the alcohol, a lip gloss, a beach towel, a fan, like a Chinese looking fan that is such cheap plastic it immediately broke. Like they're just giving you garbage that's branded. And it's like, it'd be one thing if it was dope and it had your brand and I'm like, great, but this is a great bag. A lot of it's just like, what can we do for cheap that has our name on it?
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's upsetting.
It is, because it's what people like. It's tough.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course,
pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat that's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Eliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
Hello, AIA crew. Love listening every week during my boring day job. Here's the scoop. My husband, male 35, and myself, female 33, went no contact with his mom 8 years ago. She's a toxic narcissist and said some terrible things to us the last time we saw her. My sister-in-law is pregnant and her first kiddo, sister-in-law is husband's brother's wife.
Okay.
And her family is throwing her a shower next month. I texted her family asking if our mother-in-law was invited. They replied yes, and I told them I would be unable to attend. I feel like an ass for not being able to celebrate her on her special day, but I refuse to be in the same room as our mother-in-law. What can I do for her that lets her know how happy I am for her? Sincerely, the asshole of the family.
You should go anyway. And I will tell you should go anyway. I mean, look, obviously I don't know what this person said, but and I only am saying this to you because something not similar, but similar in the outcome happened to me this weekend. You're letting this woman rob you of the joy and of the fun of celebrating this baby and this family member because she will merely be there. And I think a lot of times, and I can't tell you I'm better at this. Like I've definitely gotten anxiety about stuff and not gone. What if someone's there? What if they ask me to leave a red carpet event? So now this woman, you can't do any family event because the mom's probably always going to be there. So now you're letting her decide what you participate in. I say you go anyway. But if you really can't, if you really, really can't, then just get her a nice gift. That's all they want anyway.
So yeah, take her out for lunch or something. Do something one-on-one. I will say I have someone in my extended family I will not be in the same room with. And
wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it her husband?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to celebrate holidays on different days. And it is frustrating, but the reason that you don't do it, the reason that I won't budge on that is because often the other family members are so desperate for everything to be okay that they will take that as a sign of, and the person will take that as a sign of, oh, it's fine now. I've gotten my way. Everyone's going to be here. And there's something about that where it's like, you don't want to give an inch to someone like that. And I get that, even though it affects no one negatively but yourself. This other person who sucks doesn't give a shit if you're there or not. Like,
right.
They don't care.
Right. Also, if she is, look, I think because of the internetification of everything and the like self-diagnosable psychology and pop psychology, people use the word narcissist a lot. People without mental health degrees, psychology degrees, throw these terms around. Like every woman you know knows all these narcissists, all these people that are bipolar. We're just walking around diagnosing it. So there's a difference between being a true like medical grade narcissist and just a bitch. The good news about if your mother-in-law is an actually like a diagnosed narcissist, if you go, they're never going to change their behavior. So you may as well go because it's not personal. Like it's a chemical imbalance versus them being like, oh, I hate you. And I'm saying something hateful like you've chosen to be gay. So maybe it's not that bad, or you could just stay on the other side of the room or treat them with kid gloves, but just know you will be missing a lot of things in your life. Then again, if they said something to you that upset you that much and you don't want to be around them, you've got to protect your peace. So once again, I don't have a ton of context, but I am eating this whipped cream from my drink like a sex idol.
Yeah. We have
Does that sound like a bong? It's not. It's a nice coffee.
we have a follow-up.
Red hot update.
So this was the guy 2 weeks after the wedding. My wife says I humiliated her at the after party. Remember they talked about open relationships and then he was clinging on to his female friend. So
he says he wasn't draped all over her. And we're like, it doesn't matter. You upset your wife. But our advice was also like, you have apologized and she can't hold it over your head forever. So she has to move on. And also we were like, okay, go ahead.
Yes. So, wow. Didn't expect Iliza answered this quickly or at all. We finally were on a question quick. The dangling participle. We have both been in open relationships before. It was kind of built in at the start. I don't remember who first brought it up. Because remember, both of us were like, who brought it up? But we
it's like, will you marry me? Also, can I sleep with other people?
Right.
Like who brought this up?
Yeah. We both decided we didn't need that anymore, but should keep an open mind to how our needs may change over the course of our life together. Even before you read the question, I had apologized in the same style suggested. Clear conscience, unequivocal. She apologized to me as well, said she trusts me fully, and her outburst was more about personal stress and other people's perception of my relationship with H. Also, had run out of her medication. It was screwing with her mood.
All right, whatever.
I think that, well, hold on. This is my favorite podcast. I may be a cis dude, but I think of Iliza as a big sister too. Very wise and practical worldview that I always try to apply in my own life. Much love to all, especially Hot Scotty on the ones and twos. What's
with the but? I may be a cis dude, but I think of Iliza as a big sister. Are you spelling sister
women?
Are you spelling sister CIS? Like as a straight girl I know. Well, I don't understand the but. He's like, I may be a straight guy, but
I think because he's like, but I also think of Iliza as a big sister, like all of the women who write in.
No, and I'm a dude. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I'm a dude, and I love her, and that's perfect for me. I love it. I love you're listening. Please forward to some friends. We bring some men,
some male friends.
Yeah, I am the male whisperer because I don't hate men. I'm a true feminist. I believe everybody's equally awful.
I do think that this is a really interesting piece that we didn't discuss, which is other people's perception, because I do think it's like, even if you know your husband is cool, if it appears to the outside world, everyone else is like, what is he doing with that woman? That is going to make you think twice, even if you trust him.
Sure. I get, for sure. I guess it's nice that you both were like, hey, this got heated. You're like, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, I'm so sorry. And that is really what marriage is. Like being able to actually, I guess that's what being married to Noah is. Just being able later to be like, sorry, I got upset. I'm sorry too. Please pet my nose. Sometimes you do need to explode to be able to get to a place and we're down. But what's important is that you can always come together to apologize later. And I think that that's great. And you were both heard, and tell her to keep up with her refills.
Mm-hmm.
Shimon.
Why?
Because of iced coffee.
Hey, AIA crew. All the squishies and furries. Oh, I'm looking for some clarity / advice on a family situation. I, female, 27, married Jay, male, 26, 4 years ago, together for 8. When I first met his family, he mentioned he is not close with any of his siblings. His older 3 siblings are from a previous marriage with his dad, and Jay is technically an only child / half-sibling. The youngest sibling is almost 10 years older than Jay, so they did not grow up together. Over the last few years, Jay and his siblings have attempted to have an adult relationship with him, see him as less of an annoying kid and as a regular person. I get along well with 2 sister-in-laws, going on outings and dinners with them and their kiddos. Up until this winter, things seem to be heading in a great direction for Jay to finally have a connection with them. The context. Jay's parents were blindsided when his siblings decided to go no contact. Jay's dad does not get along with the siblings' mom. Though dad has tried to keep from saying anything harmful or rude, it was not reciprocated by the other's mom. Ultimately, this has put the siblings in positions of choosing what parent they spend time with, including events with the grandkids, usually leaving out dad. Jay and I have hesitantly kept contact with one pair of siblings/sister-in-law, but Jay is leaning away from any contact with them after they entirely cut out their dad. The issue,
Which is his only connection to them, is that they share a
Yes.
father.
We are expecting our first child in October. Yay, which isn't an issue, but for several months, only a small group of people knew, and telling his siblings has been a weird point of contention. After finding out, we had a hectic home buying, moving, Boston Marathon, and ended up having to stay with Dad and Mom for several weeks while waiting on our occupancy permit for the house. During this time, someone told the siblings about me being pregnant, and I got some not great messages from the sisters-in-law. Nothing worth calling the cops, but gaslight-ish and guilt-inducing.
I don't know what that means, but that is so unacceptable to have that as an answer to like, I'm bringing a life into this world. It's like, you better watch out and use ADT because they're always there for you.
What makes this worse, the sister-in-law I'm closest to called to tell me about her cancer diagnosis. It's
Oy.
aggressive and genetic. Unfortunately,
Oh my
her mom passed away
God.
from it years earlier. This was right before they found out about our baby, meaning that by the time they found out about our baby, she felt hurt about us not sharing our news and her sharing with us first. So the question, was I in the wrong for not letting them know sooner? I was barely 3 to 4 months and honestly had a hard time wrapping my brain around having a munchkin. I've hung out with the sister-in-law since and they're excited. However, Jay's parents are our main support since we moved away from my home state and family. With his siblings choosing no contact, Jay doesn't want them involved in anything. He doesn't believe they get to pretend a normal relationship with us while treating his parents differently. The sister-in-law going through a tough diagnosis, being supportive/available would be nice. So how do we navigate being supportive but not letting the siblings feel entitled to a relationship with us and our kids? You might use my name, Sophie, and appreciate any insight.
Oh boy. Oh boy. First of all, oh my
boy.
God, there's so much there. Nobody is entitled to hear about a pregnancy ever. That is your information. She was hurt because she probably loves you, wants to be there for you, probably felt a little bad that she had to share something so awful about herself. And then you're having this good thing, but that doesn't matter. And it's done. And she likes you. I guess because we don't know who's right here. Like, I don't know what the dad did. I don't know what the siblings did. Emily's always, you're always ready with a hot take. I see your little neck moving.
I think we have to assume, we have to take this question asker at face value, which is that the other mother made it and poisoned the kids against the dad. Now, I would argue they're adults, and unless they're supremely stupid, the dad has done something that they were like, I mean, look at this situation we're in. He has his wife and his kids. 10 years later, he's with a new woman and has a new kid who's 10 years younger than all the other kids. I'd be curious about the timeline of events there. You know, that's
I maybe.
do they feel like
But
do they feel like their dad left and started a new family?
100%.
You know, there could be resentment.
Of course there is. But I have a sibling who's like 14 years younger. 2 of them, actually. Noah has a sibling that's a crazy, like something like that, like 14 years younger or something like that. You're never going to like love that your parents got a divorce, but there are ways to be like adults about like there are versions of this where it's healthy. So let's say the dad is shitty. I hate the narrative of like the stepmom did something wrong because at the end of the day, it's usually the dad that like can't reconcile, can't do something right. But let's say they did something and it's shitty and the siblings just don't want the relationship. You're saying, how do we allow these people who want to be supportive while also not letting them in? Well, I guess the answer is you say how you feel. And you say it's uncomfortable because you guys are entitled to your feelings, but maybe you just don't do group things. They probably don't begrudge that you are going to be with your dad and his mom, who is not their mom. You have to just keep it separate. And I bet you like the arrival of a baby is a really good reason for like people to kind of come together. You can just maintain the position because you do like this girl and she does have cancer. And like that kind of trumps like any like passive aggressive nature she has, like toward the dad, you still need support from them. And that's what matters. It'd be different if the siblings were the ones that were your support system, but they're not. And she's the one that's going to need support now that she's going to go through this horrible thing. So you can compartmentalize these things. Always putting you and your baby first.
It's very fair, again, unless they're idiots, to tell them,
Yes.
these are the only parents that Jay has, is this man and this
Yep.
woman. We're having a baby. We now live closer to them. They are our support system for this baby. These are the grandparents that this baby has.
Mhm.
This is what
Yes.
we're doing.
We want
You're
you
not wrong to
We
do
want
that.
you guys involved. I hope you guys can work it out. Whatever happened, maybe it's so awful that they're entitled to those feelings. What's good is that those siblings aren't taking it out on your husband, although there was something that you said earlier where it's like they're trying to see him as more of an adult. So, maybe your husband was like a turd growing up, who knows? But actually, none of it matters now because you seem great and you're having a baby and you are allowed to want the grandparents and all those wonderful things. So hopefully they can sort it out, but you can't devote energy to that. And you know what? When you have your baby shower or when you have the kid's first birthday, everyone's invited. And if they want to abstain, that's on them. But like, it needs to be clear that like you are Switzerland with a preference for the parents. And it's always open. Like if you guys want to come, like it's on them to set those things aside and come or don't come. It's great if they don't because you don't have to think about it. But that's not on you. It's their set of generational trauma with the dad. Don't get too involved. Do not fight the battles for your husband. Do not say things on behalf of these people. These people are functioning as grandparents and a support system. And their issue with those kids has nothing to do with you.
I do think it would be fair to extend a little more grace to the sister-in-law with cancer. It's like maybe some of the siblings you're like, no, like you or me to dad, we're not doing this. I would cut the sister-in-law a little more slack than everyone else.
Oh, I don't think the girl with cancer is like, oh, and I'd love to hang out with my father-in-law who we don't like. So you just say,
No.
I don't like that you guys are mean to him, but I appreciate that you have your feelings because this could just as easily be someone writing in like our dad did something really awful.
Yeah.
If what they're upset about is this juvenile thing that like our dad moved on, like there's nothing you can do about that. But I would venture to say that the dad probably isn't being as good of a father to them. Like there's more to it. But I think you make your position clear. You guys are not, it's tough because you don't want to be like, you're not nice to dad because they'll be like, well, he did all this. You don't know. And you don't want to get in the middle.
Yeah.
I love all of you guys. I know it's uncomfortable because we know how you feel about dad. But like Emily said, and make sure to say, but like Emily said, he's still the grandfather to our child. They're our support system. I hope you guys can figure it out. If not, we'll have to just see you all separately. You don't need to cut them out because I can tell you being the older child when your father has younger kids, like there is this feeling of like, oh, I guess I'm just this like giant leftover, like half-baked mistake that you like kind of gave up on. So that's a very real thing I just shared, but that's don't dismiss their feelings and never don't dismiss the fact that like men sometimes are not great at problem solving or expressing themselves. So it's a very complicated thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of grace, but you don't have to take it on. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow, and the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart. And then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Roommate/partner and his abandoned Great Dane. Okay, so let me start off by saying that I largely got myself in a situation, and the larger lesson of who I pick and what I allow into my life is one that I will be reflecting on. Okay, good. Here are the players. Me, question asker, 36-year-old male. I'm Nathan. The dog abandoner, 40-year-old male. Let's call him Peter because that's his name. So, the guy I live and have an ill-defined situationship with recently flew to Denver. We live in Chicago for the commencement ceremony for his master's degree from his online university.
What? Why wouldn't you just get it online on like a Zoom ceremony? Well, it's online, but you get a paper degree in person? Okay.
Yeah, you got to go get it. It was planned to be a 3-day quick trip, and I'd agreed to watch and care for his dog during this time, a 4-year-old, relatively low-maintenance Great Dane. She eats 2 times a day, needs about 4 trips outside, and 1 good 30-minute play session every day, ideally. Well, the Sunday he's supposed to fly back, he instead flies to Vegas to, well, do Vegas things. We're now going on his 7th day in Vegas, and every few days he feeds me a line of BS about how he wants to come home, but he can't afford a ticket, or he overslept and missed his flight, etc.
He has a gambling problem. Or he's doing drugs. He's sleeping with someone, gambling problem, drugs. Either way, get out of this situationship when he comes home because he's going to need to get his shit unless the mob takes him out first. Chinese mob. All right.
Now here's the kicker. He doesn't realize that before he left, he checked his email on my computer and is still logged in. So every time there's a hotel reservation or a bank transfer to one of his accounts, there's a paper trail he doesn't know I see. So every time he's lied to me about something, I've generally been able to suss out the truth. None of that really matters because over the past 2 years or so of being in one another's lives, we've struggled to put a label on our situationship, which is a result of both of our own issues. I've met his family. He's been at my workplace. We use partner when convenient. Here's my question. I agreed to care for this dog for 3 days and we're going on 10. On what day is it appropriate to surrender this dog to Chicago Animal Control? It's heartbreaking to think about, but the reality is that the owner's actions have put me in a place I didn't agree to be. He's displayed no regard or consideration for me or my life, the well-being of this pet, but just assumes I'll be there to pick up his responsibilities and keep the rest of the plates spinning while he fucks off and doesn't include me in the process. Sure. I know there's pretty much no coming back from surrendering the dog. That would be the end of things. But I don't know how else to stand up for myself.
I had your dog put to sleep. I'm sorry.
Or am I overreacting? Should I take it?
So fucked up.
Oh, okay, wait. Should I take it in stride, consider the small stuff and let it ride? We both have a pretty strong gambling addiction. And I certainly get needing to blow off steam, but
no,
we usually read one another into shit like this.
Stop.
I found what? Almost done. I found Elder Millennial and the rest of Netflix content in 2019 and love the podcast. I'm a mail carrier, and Emily and Iliza have been great companions to me as I walk Chicago streets during the workday.
First of all,
I realize you probably won't get this. Okay, feel free to use real names, IDGAF.
Okay, first of all, you're carrying this mail, and it's gone too far. Couple things. One, I don't read these questions ahead of time so we can make room for spontaneity and hot takes. I called that he had a gambling problem. He's probably, okay, that's one thing. And you guys are fine. You're birds of a feather. You both have like fun gambling addictions. Okay. Do not surrender that dog. The good news is it's a Great Dane, so it's only going to live like 3 weeks. Huge dogs. Do not surrender that animal. I don't even know why you're thinking of doing that because you know this person will be returning at some point.
Right.
This poor dog has no one but you. It is a pain in the ass. Feel free to ask for compensation if you have to hire a dog walker, whatever. Pack your bags. Maybe I don't know what kind of money you have. Maybe you got like some sort of good, I don't know, compensation from carrying mail. That seems like a really hard job. It also seems like a time-consuming job because you're out there in these streets. Sustain and maintain until the guy gets home, and then be ready to hand him like his key and a list of receipts that you saw and just be like, all of these reasons, I'm out of here. This is a very, very unhealthy relationship. And I know that like situationship is like the new thing. And a lot of gay guys say it because it's like, maybe this isn't your boyfriend. But after 2 years, at the very least, as a friend, they owe you the respect. This person is showing you who they are. They're willing to put their dog at risk. They're taking advantage of you. So it's not about what you do now. It's about what you do when this person gets home, because that decides the rest of your life. That will define it. And one day you'll find yourself in a normal relationship and you'll be like, I cannot believe I put up with this. You could also just tell him his dog died and then not answer your phone and see if he comes home. If you wanted to do something shady.
No, I think the problem is that you're saying you would give up the dog as a F you to this man. Not you, this question asker, to this man. No, but you need to not, you're like, or should I just let it ride? No, don't let it ride. You're done with him.
Yeah, but I'm saying let it ride until he gets home. Like,
yes. No. I know. I know, but he said like just let it go.
No, that's insane.
Email. No, we're done with this man. Start putting the pieces together to either get a new place, get him out, whatever. Please keep the dog and take money from this man if you have to.
Take money from this. That's okay. First of all, I just said all of this just because you want to chime in. I said all of this. But by the way, someone like this is not going to care that you're like, I saw that you checked in here, withdrew money here, did this and this and this. This person doesn't respect you.
He's a liar.
Well, or is so far into their own addiction that they are hurting people and one day he'll apologize. Either way, if you have the wherewithal to write into a podcast and listen to me and watch my specials, you're obviously a person worthy of love. In my perfect world, if this dog were smaller, you move while the guy is out, has no idea, and take the dog with you and just be done. This person is, you cannot save them. Do not let this ride. You deserve better. You deserve better.
And maybe in your back pocket, start looking at foster rescue organizations. It's actually really, really hard to get an organization to take a dog because they're all so overloaded.
No,
so I would start researching that now. Well, better that it go to somewhere where it could be placed with a family than to animal control.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like a Great Dane rescue. I mean, this guy's going to come home and be like, where's the dog that I cared for all these months?
Right. I'm saying if he hasn't come home in like another 10 to 20 days, you know what I mean? Like,
well, then you need to send the police because something's going on. But don't make the dog pay for his mistakes.
No.
Don't make that massive horse of a dog. You're like, he only goes out 4 times a day. I'm like, what? 4? You got to get a track installed or something.
This man was he was just running from this dog. He fled to Vegas to get away from this human-sized dog that he had to feed and house.
Godzilla of a dog. Can you ride the dog on your mail route, like Pony Express style? Take the dog with you. There's his exercise. All right, next question.
God.
Don't abandon the dog, but abandon that partner. ASAP.
Yes. Hey, Iliza, Emily, and crew. My question is less of a question and more of a request for a pep talk. Me, 30. My boyfriend, 29. Adopted our first dog together back in October. We rescued him as a 4-month-old puppy, a lab mixed with who knows what from Texas. Surprisingly, after all the midnight peeps and thousands of dollars and counting spent in training, we actually feel like we could do anything together. The biggest issue with our little guy, who's now almost 1 and weighs 65 pounds, is that he is leash reactive, which means whenever he sees a dog while we're out on a walk, he barks and lunges and pulls.
Oh boy.
It looks and sounds scary, but we've been working with a verified behaviorist for months now, and the gist of it is that our pup doesn't quite understand that when he sees a dog while on a leash out in the world, it's not playtime, and the barking is his way of telling us he's frustrated. It's a full-on puppy temper tantrum.
Yeah.
He's great playing with dogs off leash.
Yeah.
Super friendly with people.
Sure.
Doesn't bark. Because he is so big, and as our behaviorist says, he really knows how to project. He doesn't look or sound like a puppy. And so when he has these reactions, I get emotional and overwhelmed. It's like a full body reaction. And once I'm back home, I'll just start crying. I feel like everyone is judging me for not being able to control my dog. We've had some bad interactions with off-leash dogs that have set us further back in training because some people with mini fucking doodle whatevers think leash laws don't apply to them. I haven't received any direct comments, just staring and weird looks from the neighbors. I could all be in my head, but I feel like I know when someone is glaring at me. I can feel myself getting mentally tougher, and I'm thankful it's happening with him and not with our first kid, LOL. Is there some sort of mantra or practice
Hopefully
or
your
exercise
kid,
isn't
when they're on a leash,
reactive?
isn't that aggressive. Yeah.
There's some sort of mantra or practice or exercise you suggest to help me stay strong and not care what other people think. It's going to be a long training journey to get him to the point of being able to see another dog on a walk without getting barky, probably another year at least. We've seen some progress, but it's a real test of patience. Sometimes feel sad I don't have a dog I can just take with me to coffee shops and bars, out in the world without worrying he will have a reaction. It's a goal of ours to get him there someday, and we're dedicating a lot of time and money. We live in an apartment, so I have to walk him on a leash for peeps and poops. Oh, that's what a peep is, a pee, and exercise. We stay close to the apartment in case I have to book it back home if there are lots of dogs and he's having a hard time. And he was so
Yeah.
appreciated, including some pictures. It's a very cute, just all black dog.
Aw. I know where you're coming from. I did not know the term leash reactive, which does make it sound like it's because he's on a leash that he acts this way.
Well, he doesn't act
but
that way
whatever.
off a leash.
Interesting. My dog has to be fully harnessed because my dog has the same problem your dog has. And it's okay because my dog is small.
Mhm.
So her having a little attitude is cute, but it is embarrassing. And sometimes people are not cool with it. Like, I don't mind if someone else has a small dog that also is leash reactive because I'm fine with these two dogs. Like, usually she just growls and loses her mind. And then when she gets close, she either wants nothing to do with the dog or just sniffs it. It's almost like she can't control herself. When I tell you that my dog has pulled me like an Iditarod dog from half a mile away if she sees another dog. Like, our walk yesterday was ruined because another dog passed her 15 minutes ago and she couldn't let it go. And we had to run all the way home. It's like this dirty secret is that my dog cannot be governed. So I feel you. And I've seen the looks that people give me when they're like, oh, who's this? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's a sweet dog. My dog has never bitten, much like I'm sure your puppy hasn't. As a dog owner, I can tell when a large dog is a puppy, and I'm never afraid of that. Like, a puppy's not going to do any damage. So I hope more people extend you that grace. I don't have a mantra for you, but you have the dog on a leash. So anyone who has their dog off leash is wrong, unless you're at like a park for that. You're right. Dogs should, they do think rules don't apply to them because their dog is not dangerous. Like, they are biologically bred to be basically walking carpets, like a golden doodle. But a leash is not just for that dog's safety. It's other dog safety. It's for cars. It's really frustrating when you see any kind of dog off a leash. You're doing your best and you are entitled to do your best. And your dog is a work in progress. All you can do is warn people and keep training them. And this patient, you having an anxiety attack, like, who cares what someone that you're never going to see again thinks about your dog's behavior, especially if you're actively working on it? I would like to think that people who own dogs understand how hard that can be.
Mhm.
So you need to worry a little bit less about that, because I'll tell you what, once you have kids too, you could have a perfect angel and she's just crying and it's like, oh no, do I look like a bad parent? You always look like a bad parent. To everyone else, you are a bad parent. So you need to just get over it. You're doing your best with your dog. You got them on a tight leash. People can hear you parenting them. And someone with a soul will get that you are doing your best. It's an animal. And the best way to explain it is the Chris Rock joke about the tiger that attacked someone. And they're like, wow, the tiger went crazy. He's like, tiger didn't go crazy. Tiger went tiger. These are still animals and they are entitled to their animal feelings. And you're doing your best. You're doing your best.
You're doing so much incredible training with the dog. Like, above and beyond, you're doing exactly what someone should be doing with a dog. It's amazing.
That's so much money. I never spent that on my dog. I'm like, I hope you're cool.
Well, and you're training out the dog's anxieties. I think the issue of your anxiety is a bigger issue. I'd be surprised if it's not manifesting in other areas. If your dog freaking out causes you to go home and cry, I think that this is just the area. Like, you need to work on training yourself, whether that's through a therapist or whatever. You're having really outsized reactions to the dog's reactions.
Yeah, and I will tell you, dogs can pick up on that. Weirdly, my dog doesn't pick up on my embarrassment when she is walking on two legs because she's trying to get away from me and I'm like holding her harness back. But your stress, like animals can sense when you're stressed. So you got to figure out a way to eliminate that because that's a weird reaction.
It's not good for you health-wise. Yeah.
I mean, you're that worried about what other people are thinking. Like we live in a society.
Yeah.
I think even though you're like, whatever you do, your dog will still have their behavioral issue, but it's like you reacting that way doesn't make anything better and you can control the way you're reacting.
Mm-hmm. / you, in addition to a mantra, maybe you need to work on, again, some exercises with therapists about how to kind of calm yourself down in those situations. Because, yeah, if you and the dog, whenever the dog flips out, you run him home. It's like maybe the dog is like, good, I wanted to go home, and that's why I started barking.
You're entitled to be out in the world with a dog that you are training, a puppy you are training, and it's on a leash.
Vigorously training.
And anybody who has an issue with, anybody with an issue with that, then they don't deserve a dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You will allay some of your stresses by realizing that nobody actually cares that much. And who cares if they give you a look? Who cares? You did your best.
Hi, gang. Love the pod. And Iliza, can't wait to see you on tour. Background for my question. My mom and stepdad have been together for over 10 years and they got married last year. I love my stepdad. He has truly been the only father figure I've had in my life. He used to do construction and window installation until he unfortunately had an accident, falling off a ladder and shattering his ankle and shoulder. This happened shortly after he and my mom started dating. He has since then been retired. My mom, on the other hand, continues to work part-time as a physical therapy assistant. Both of them tend to drink a little too much together almost every night, which is a different issue but relates to my question. So, when my mom is at work during the week, my stepdad isn't watching my stepsister's son, he tends to just sit around, watch TV, and hit the bottle. I truly believe he's depressed, but of course that's a touchy subject with their generation. He used to be extremely active, but after multiple hip, ankle, and shoulder replacements, I think he struggles mentally because he can't do everything he used to do. My mom is pretty active for her age, usually going on a jog or to the gym several times a week. She's tried to get my stepdad to go with her, but he always declines and stays home. Yeah. My question, what would be a way to help encourage him to find a hobby or be more active during the day? He's still pretty fit for his age, can still do walks, ride a bike, and lift lighter weights, but he lacks the motivation to get out of the house and really do anything. I love my stepdad and would love your insight on how to help him get out of this funk and get back to his active lifestyle. Thank you so much. S.
You are right. There is a generational thing with therapy and stuff like that. It kind of just wasn't done with them growing up. I would sit him down. I think the power that a stepdaughter has for her stepfather, like the power of like that love. Like I love my stepdad and he listens to me in a way that I think he doesn't listen to other people sometimes, even though I don't need to tell him that much. But like every once in a while, if I have information, like he listens. And I think he would be incredibly touched to hear that you remember him as this wonderful version of himself. And you just don't want to see him. It's funny because you don't want to say certain things. And he's like, I've got it under control, but he seems like a nice guy. You want to say, I just want to see you guys happy. And I just want to see you enjoying your life together. I think you have your drinking under control, but it's not great for you. And I know that you can do all these things. I'd love to do them with you or go on a bike ride or something because mom is still active. And I'm just putting it out there because I love you. And just kind of say some very basic things and let it rattle around in his head.
I just think you need to come up with an activity that first you can do together. So like invite him to do something with you. Don't tell him, hey, go figure out something to do. My parents just went on a bird walk together for my dad's birthday, a 3-hour, like they walked around and looked at birds. And I'm like, oh, it was fun. Maybe we'll join the bird society. Like find stuff going on in just random stuff going on in your in your town and invite him to do it with you and see if any of it kind of sticks for him.
Get your mom to be like, I'd like to go do this and this, because you don't want to be your parents' counselor and you don't want to be like, look, you want to have sex with my mom? You got to stay active. Maybe do a couple things together or invite him out and just be like, I just want to see you happy and healthy as long as possible because I love you. I feel like that is a very powerful thing for a man to hear.
Yeah.
And I bet sharing that without admonishing or talking down to him would go a long way.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what because my dad's retired. My mom volunteers and does jazzercise and just went back to work partially, part-time. So I'm like, Dad, what are you getting up to? What's going on over there? Like, it's hard. You're like,
but
people who didn't have time to come up with hobbies before, what are they supposed to do now?
Well, you see it a lot with couples. You see women stay active. I used to have a joke about this. Like, I'm joining a French club. I'm cooking. I'm doing this. And guys are like, I'm going to die in my chair. People start to slow down, or maybe for men, ego-wise, like not being able to do the things you used to do is hard. And it is hard. I'm not even old and it's hard to know that I can't drink as much as I used to be able to. My dad and my stepmom play a ton of tennis together. My mom and my stepdad my mom plays a ton of tennis, but they play pickleball together. So I think Emily's right. Finding something that they can get into together is motivating.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break.
Okay. Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Do you want to start with bottom or top?
I have a really good bottom of the cob. I have two bottoms. Yeah. Well, my top of the cob is that 4 hostages were rescued. I think that's an amazing thing. Not returned, rescued. So my heart lit up when I heard about that. And by the time you guys hear this will have been, several days ago. But the collective joy that brought people all over the world it was a glimmer of hope that we needed. 4 hostages rescued. So that's it. I'm not going to get into it. And this whole thing has the power to absolutely ruin my day. As I discovered yesterday when I saw a trans woman wearing a Israel sweatshirt, but Israel was painted like a watermelon, which is her saying like all of Israel should be Palestinian, which is a weird thing to say because that means you want Jews killed. No, I don't want them killed. I want them somewhere else. So that's code for genocide. And it wrecked my day. So my other bottom of the cob, sorry, that's out of order, was how much I do not have control over how angry I get. And my bottom of the cob was also, I couldn't tell if I was proud of myself or angry at myself for not saying something to this person for wearing something that is like a weaponized opinion. And I'm mad at myself that I let it wreck my day. Because then you just become some lunatic like ranting at the person in your car. I was trying to explain it. My nanny was with me and I was trying to explain to her like, it would be on par with someone wearing a sweatshirt that said like all immigrants should go home. Like it's that level of offensive. So that was my top and bottom, that the hostages were released, but that I could not find my own peace when I saw in LA, you don't tend to see a lot of stuff like that. And I wanted to say to her, like, excuse me, ma'am, do you realize Israel is the only place where you will not get like instantly beheaded for being gay or trans? Like it's the only place in the Middle East where it's not illegal. I think people don't realize that. So if you're the trans woman who had a Palestine sweatshirt at a coffee shop on Sunday morning, just know I feel really bad for you.
Okay. I don't know. You let her wreck your day, so.
It did. I lose.
Yeah.
There's like, I've been robbed of joy and I'm still ranting about it. And I did the internet thing where like, I didn't say anything to her, but then I said it on Instagram, which is my least favorite kind of person that like puffs up like, I'm going to tell her to fuck off. I did nothing.
Well, you shouldn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, what?
Shouldn't you? If somebody is wearing something that is deliberately weaponized and designed to project an opinion that is meant to do people harm, shouldn't you have to account for the message you're putting out there?
You shouldn't have to account for the message someone's putting out there.
Well, then who's going to hold them accountable?
Themselves. I can't be helping everybody. I can't tell everyone with a MAGA hat I'm not starting a fight with.
Anyway, now I'm upset.
This is not what this segment is for. It's not for you to re-bottom yourself.
I have rebottomed myself. You're absolutely right. So I'll give you my other bottom of the cob that I should save, but I'm just going to give it to you. And it should have been a fight me. What? Here I go.
Okay.
There's always one kid at a party for kids that's slightly older, so / bigger than the average age of the children there. And that kid is always annoying. If you're having a birthday party for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old and there's like a 5-year-old running around, like you are hazardous to the health of these tiny babies. My friend had a birthday for her daughter who was turning 2, and there was a kid there. Every kid was like 2, 2.5. Maybe there was a 3-year-old. And like little boys are always rougher than girls, and kids just have to realize that there was a little girl who was maybe like 6, just bolting around. Somehow she happened to be literally everywhere my 2.5-year-old daughter was, like almost kicking her in the face, jumping over her. And I'm like, there's always a kid that's still a little kid, but just a little too fucking wild and big. Like there is such a difference between a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And there's an even more massive difference between a kid that age and like a 5-year-old. So I would like to think that when my kids are that big, I will either teach them to steer clear of babies or I won't bring them to an infant's birthday party.
The next iteration of that's so annoying, and I was 100% this kid, is when parents are hanging out with like family friends. So the kids are of like indeterminate ages, right? It doesn't quite match up. And you have one kid that wants to hang out with the parents so bad, which was me. And now it's so annoying when you're like...
And continues to be.
Right. I'm always trying to hang out with adults. But you know what I mean? Like when there's just one kid and the mom's like, oh, she just likes to be with me. She just wants to stay in here while we have girl talk and drink wine. This one little girl is in here like just babbling, and you're like, I don't want to talk to this kid. Make it go with the other kids.
There is, I will tell you, like having especially, there are kids where they can participate and be adults. And I really respect parents that can sort of condition their kids to sit at a dinner and participate. But then when you get the kids that are like, I have a princess doll. Watch and you're just like, okay, well, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
The lack of bandwidth I have for most of other kids' bullshit. It's a big lack of bandwidth, put it that way. Also, like my daughter was really active at this party running around, and this big kid was just everywhere.
It's a big kid.
And I'm like, you're like WWE just like flying over her all the time. And I'm like, get your 5-year-old body out of the way. I didn't say anything. The parents were cool, but it's still just like, you're too big. Go away.
There's a Rugrats where there's like a really big baby that messes with all the other babies. And as a child, I was so scared of that big baby. Like it was so much bigger.
This wasn't even a big baby. This was like a full-grown German Shepherd to my puppy.
This was going on.
Do you ever see Spirited Away?
Yeah.
The Miyazaki movie? Sierra's favorite part is the big baby at the end. It's the old lady's baby. That's a giant baby.
Oh my God.
Big baby. All right, you go. You do you. Let's skip the fan one and you do you.
Well, we have a fan one that's combined top and bottom, but...
Let's do the fan one.
Okay.
I don't know why you'd say not.
Hello, Iliza and Emily. I have a combined top and bottom. I just came back from a trip with my sister and her husband to Cape May, New Jersey. My sister recently became interested in bird watching, and right before the trip, she found out that Cape May is one of the best spots for birding in the world. She downloaded a birding app so she could identify them by their calls, and throughout the trip, she used it to tell us about every bird she heard. On the last day of our trip, we went to the Cape May Zoo, and on our way in, we heard an animal that my sister said was probably not a bird because it sounded too whiny. She didn't even bother to pull up the app. When she said the word whiny, I remembered Eliza's ornithology lesson and peacock impression in Elder Millennial, and I confidently informed my sister and her husband it was a peacock. My sister didn't believe me, but then we turned a corner and saw about 8 peacocks wandering around the zoo. So, my bottom of the cob is having to hear a peacock's unsettling mating call. My top of the cob is one for anyone who has seen Elder Millennial, because Eliza was right. If you watched it, you've already heard a peacock call, and you don't have to subject yourself to a real one. Thank you for the gift of random ornithology knowledge, Maura.
I couldn't get it quite up there. As I was doing it, I was like, oops, that's not it. Yeah, it's got a certain tone to it. I love that. I love that we learned something from the special.
The Zoom recording, like the feed going to my ears, literally cut you out. Like it just bleeped you. Like that was going to be too high pitched. So the file will appear.
Real.
Everyone will hear it on the episode, but my computer said no. That's too much.
It couldn't handle my birdness. All right. What's yours?
My top of the cob, I like leaving eBay feedback. It makes it feel like, okay, I've gotten my thing. I've settled up. We're done now. I go in, I say, well packaged. Great shipping. Thank you.
It's amazing you do that. I'm always like, decline. Don't care if your business succeeds. That's great that you spend time to do that. I think that's nice.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It puts a button on the purchase. But the bottom is when a group chat feels like an accusation so my neighborhood has a group chat that's like Facebook Messenger, and anything in there is like urgent. You know what I mean? Like anything, because there's a Facebook group where you could be like, hey, did anyone see my package? Or hey, I'm having someone come do work tomorrow, whatever. But the urgent one is like, hey, I found a lost dog, or like, hey, I saw a weird guy.
Yeah.
So I get a package for someone else. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, great, I'm leaving the house tomorrow. I'll drop it off then. Because I probably saw it at like 7. I'm like, I'm not leaving my house right now to drop off this package. I'll do it. And then they use the urgent thing. Hi, does anyone have my package? I really need it. And I'm like, oh. So I wait. I like literally see the message. I wait an hour and I go, oh yeah, just saw it in my pile. I'll drop it off first thing.
Whoa.
So then she's like, great, thanks. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to reply again in this group chat like I left it. So I knocked on the door the next morning and I'm like, oh, hi, but a guy answered and he's like, oh, okay, thanks, bye. And I'm like, okay,
cool
you
way
were
to be a
so
person.
worried. And then I go and see she had posted like an hour before the message in the Facebook group, but was like, I got to get this alert out, which fine. It was something important to her. I get it. But then through no fault of hers, I feel like there's an accusation being leveled at me. Like I should have gotten it and sprinted over like, oh, I got to get this right home. No, the mailman left at the wrong house. You'll get it tomorrow.
You did make her wait an hour because you are a mean little girl.
I know, because I thought at 7, I could still reasonably do it tonight. If I wait and it's like after 8, I can say, yeah, you'll get this tomorrow. It was all very manipulative on my end to not have to leave my house that night. So I don't like then feeling like they know I'm being manipulative.
Well, you don't like that you did it and you're being called on it, but you could have messaged and been like, come get it. You don't, okay. Also, what you were hoping for was her to answer the door and be like, thank you so much. I apologize. And instead it was a guy that's like, I'm just squatting here. I guess I'll take that.
Isn't that's also a bottom
family accessory. Yeah.
When you realize you were expecting a certain reaction that's not necessarily deserved. Like she doesn't need to like bow to me because I brought her package that should have gone to her and I was going to bring it to her. Like, so what? That's the least I could do. But I was kind of like, where's that woman I was messaging with?
You're like, look, I love talking to a woman. My name's Emily Higgins. I don't know if you know my work. I have an all-female friend group plus all-female friend group plus my one gay friend named George. I do hang out with my parents, preferably my mom. I love talking to a middle-aged woman. All my friends back in LA were middle-aged women. My former boss, who's my best friend, is, I guess, now a middle-aged woman. And I'm looking for your wife. I will tell you, it is a little bit of like, I hate to say, I think it's just, I don't know if it's white entitlement, but female entitlement, like hoping you're like, look what I did for you.
Yes.
I feel that way when I travel and people aren't like, you're from Los Angeles, tell me everything.
I texted you about the fact that I found a dog the other day and I brought it back or I figured out whose house it was. And she was like, oh, thank you. And I was kind of like, not enough. Like, it's weird how you feel you're owed certain things.
Well, because movies made it like, oh, they're going to be thankful. They'll invite you in for tea. I mean, I returned a lost dog the other week and the woman was like, okay, I always know where he is. I'm on drugs. And you're like, okay, all right, don't die in the shower. Oh my God, that's my alarm. Jesus. I think I've had too much coffee.
Oh my God.
I think it just hit me.
That's the signal that the show needs to end, clearly.
The signal that the show needs to end. We got our 300th episode coming up. We're excited to do something special for that. Share this podcast with your friends. I hate when people say like and subscribe, but you know what to do. And get your tickets to see me at a city near you. We just added New Orleans at Iliza.com/tour. We got New York. We got a special. We're filming in Salt Lake City. I've got Las Vegas dates. Yes, you should make a trip of it. Make a big thing. And I'll see you see you.
Bye.